Okay, so I wanted to talk about data. I mean, collecting data and analyzing data. I wanted to talk about how I was able to figure out what had taken place as far as the criminal activities against me and so on and so forth. Um, Thank you. I appreciate it, sweetie. Thank you for the love. I appreciate you. But I wanted to talk about how I came to start dissecting the case against my attackers or my attackers. Yeah. Okay. So what happened was when I was younger, I had I had went to the hospital and I met this lady while I was at the hospital who told me, because I was telling her that I was having trouble remembering what had taken place. And I was young, like this was before any of this shit happened. Um, but she was telling me, she was like, well, sweetie, if you want to retrace your steps, she said, start with what you remember. Start with what you remember. So I took a piece of paper and I started with what I remembered. And I wrote down every single thing that I remembered that had taken place. And hey, India. Okay. Anyways, I wrote down every single thing that had taken place, and I basically started with that. And as I started with that, what I would do was I would read the things that I had listed, and then if anything new came to like mind, like anything that I had forgotten that, you know, my memory had been sparked by reading the list of things that I did remember, I would then put that in its proper place, and then I would review it all over again. And I was young when that lady taught me that trick, but that trick stuck with me throughout my life. And that's basically how I dissect this entire case and, you know, came to realize what all atrocities had actually taken place in my life. And that's a good way, method or means to do childhood trauma healing. Like if you want to heal your childhood wounds, a good way to do that is to write down the things that you do remember. You know what I'm saying? And then start from there and then review the data and then amend the data if necessary. And I don't have on no shoes, sweetie, and I'm not gonna show you my feet. So get your ass out of here with weird shit. I'm not doing the weird shit. Not doing weird shit tonight, man. Like it's y'all don't get tired. Hey, how you doing? Y'all don't get tired of that. But like I was saying, so what you want to do is you want to write down all of the things that you know to be true. Okay, you start with that. All the things that you know to be true. If you are trying to heal childhood wounds, like I know they got this whole trauma healing book that everybody's getting, and shadow work book, and so on and so forth. But everybody's system don't work for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I said hi, sweetie. You don't have to keep speaking. Michael Smith, what I am talking about is healing. And I am talking about how to perform said healing. You see what I'm saying? So you can be independent of having to go to somebody else to perform it for you. Because a lot of spiritual people on YouTube make a lot of money offering healing services. And everybody don't have the money to pay for those services. So some people have to do it themselves. You get what I'm saying? I had to do it myself. I didn't have the money to pay for somebody else to do it. So I had to do it myself. So what I started with was this trick that I learned from this lady who told me, write down everything that you remember. You start with the things that you remember. And then you expand upon the things that you remember. Because when you write down all of those different things that you remember that happened in your childhood. It's not going to all be good, and it's not going to all be bad. And it's also not going to be all of the events that actually took place. But when you read those events, it will spark your memory. And then new memories will come into the forefront. And then that's why I say you collect data, you review the data, and then you amend the data if and when necessary. And you repeat. And you will do this throughout your entire life if you really are actually truly healing yourself from any trauma that you might have acquired. Because it's a constant process. It's not something that ends when you get to a certain age. Because a lot of the times humans have the ability to black out certain events when they're too traumatic for them to process. And because of this, you have to constantly do a healing and cleansing process throughout your life, because that toxicity, it spills over into your life if you don't check it. If you don't check it, it's going to spill over into your life, into your relationships, into your businesses, into just your daily activities. You know what I mean? That's why so many people that have mental health issues now, they're depressed and they don't have any drive or ambitions, because they have mental traumas that they have not dealt with. And instead of them actually dealing with them, they are doing what most of us do and just ignore them, or they are buying things to push them down into the pit of forgetfulness. You get what I'm saying? Like it's a process. Like, and we don't know how to really process our trauma properly. Like, even when people go to therapists, like I went to a therapist for the past 3 years, and me and that therapist talked about a lot of things, but I did not heal while I was in therapy. It did not make me better, so to speak. You know what I mean? It helped me get some things off my chest. Yes, it did. It helped me have somebody to talk to who I didn't feel like was judging me or was going to be negatively affected by what I was saying in therapy. Because a lot of times, therapists actually aid by just being a biased, unbiased ear to vent to. You're not going to hurt their feelings by anything that you say about your loved ones. And then that way you spare your loved ones of having their feelings hurt by you. That's what therapy is, in my mind. You know, that's just my personal opinion. But to actually perform healing, you have to be, healing is a rigorous process. I'm going to say it like that. Healing, self-healing is a rigorous process, and it does not end at a certain level or a certain age or a certain point in life. This is something that you have to do continuously. Yes, recovery. You have to recover from the things that you've been through. But how I was able to uncover all of the dirty deeds that was done behind the scenes in my life, the criminal activities that people tried to frame me for, the medical negligence, the HipHop violations, the discrimination, all the various things that I've been faced with. I was only able to conquer them and expose them and acknowledge them and actually do something about changing them by performing this particular process. I collected the data, I reviewed the data, and I amended the data if and when necessary. Like if something new came to mind, like, oh, I don't even remember that happened, I forgot all about that, I would write that shit down where it happened at. It was the timeline. And it wasn't pretty. It was messy. Like, it was real messy. But that's how I was able to break through the fog, I guess, so to speak. That's how I was able to break through the fog of actually seeing what was going on behind the scenes that I had no clue that was going on. Like, I didn't know that my mother was involved in plots to try to take my life. I did not know that every man that I had been with had been recruited to be in my life. I did not know that I was basically being marketed as a resource for people to attempt to try to destroy me if they could, if they had it in them. Like, oh, well, you think you bad? Well, step right on up and see if you can destroy this bitch, because can't nobody destroy her. Nobody can destroy her. So let's give you an opportunity. Step right up, step right up. You pay your finder's fee, we'll let you take a crack at her. That's how it felt. Like, it felt like they was all just in an attempt to try to take a crack at destroying me and tearing me down and breaking me down and making me incapable of taking care of myself, or incapable of actually having just a regular conversation. Like, these people literally wanted me to be on the streets like this. Like, that's how they want me. And they still do it. They still send people at me. They still send potential suitors my way, attempting to break my heart, attempting to destroy my finances, attempting to destroy my business, attempting to, you know, just destroy my character or anything that would make me have any credibility in life. They want to take that from me. And they do it to a lot of people. I'm not the only one that it's happened to, and I'm not the only one that's going to experience it. So I try to use these moments that I have to record and put my videos on YouTube to be helpful to others that are actually going through what I went through. You know what I'm saying? Like, they will do all manner of shit. And I'm one of those people that I believe they did it. Like, you don't got to come to me and tell me you ain't going to believe what they did to me. My mama tried to kill me. My daddy tried to. I believe it because I've experienced it. I believe it. I believe that they monitor us through our devices. I believe that they treat us like we're in the Truman Show. I believe that they steal ideas from us before we can ever even try to see if we could have made that idea an actual business for ourselves. Like, I know because I've experienced it. And as pathetic as it is, it's our jobs to do the work so that way we can stop it from happening. Because if you don't know it's going on and you don't acknowledge that it's going on, you can't change it. If you keep telling yourself, like, nah, I'm just tripping. Nah, I just smoked too much weed. Or, nah, I just had too many drinks. Well, stop smoking and stop drinking. Because you need to have your eyes open so you can see whether these things are actually occurring or not. Because nobody is going to protect you better than you. Nobody is going to come from the sky and save you. God literally gives each of us every tool, every skill, every ability that we need in order to achieve our mission. It's on you to tap in. You got to tap into that. Because it's a lot of things that I did that I didn't know I could do. But when the need presented itself, I was able to get the job done. And I learned a lot about myself in the process. I learned a lot about being capable and being willing to learn when you don't have the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just seemed to me that that's where I wanted to start tonight. Tonight, I wanted to talk about reviewing the data, collecting the data, reviewing the data, and the need to always do this. This should be a constant thing that you do in your life, throughout your life. Like, at least once or twice a year, you should be doing this. Because sometimes people do shit and they don't think you see it. But one thing I know to be true is the subconscious sees all. So even when you don't remember seeing it, your mind's eye witnessed it. And if you take the time to review the tape, you'll be able to retrieve that memory. And that's important when you are protecting yourself against spiritual warfare. Because they are physically attempting to break us spiritually. Because it is not the body's strength that makes the body strong. It's the mind. It's the mind that tells your body that, I know your bone broke, but we finna walk this road. And if your mind is strong enough, you're not gonna feel the fact that you have a broken bone. You're gonna walk that road. But that's only if you allow yourself to develop your mental strengths. Because it's mind over matter. It's mind over matter. You know what I mean? And if they don't have their mind and they're not using it, then they don't matter. Real shit. If they're not using their minds, they don't matter. So I'm using mine because I want to matter. And I am, in fact, important. And I don't give a fuck what nobody else has to say about it. I am important to self, because without myself, I would be in a grave. You know what I mean? And a person that's trying to trick you into your grave, they'll tell you anything they think you want to hear. Oh, dog, it ain't happen like that. You ain't see it like that. It ain't really happen like that. My mama told me that same shit about me walking in on her bent over in front of my husband. It ain't really happen like that. Bitch, how you gonna tell me I ain't see what I saw with my own eyes? The fuck? And that's the mind games that people play to keep you questioning and doubting your own mind. And it's a little thing that I like to say is, my mind does not mislead me. My eyes do not deceive me. I have to say that to myself. That is an affirmation for me. My mind does not mislead me. My eyes do not deceive me. That is a method and a means of me clearing out any self-doubt about my thought process. Because people have attempted to tell me, because of the way my mind works, that is something wrong with me. But if it was something really wrong with me, how would I have come into all of the knowledge that I have obtained? Not only do I have the knowledge, I have the ability to apply said knowledge. That is not a person with a weak mind. Because a lot of people have knowledge and they don't know how to apply it. And not only am I applying the knowledge to my own life, I am actually taking the time to give these gifts to others. Because it's a gift to be able to expose and uncover all of the snakes that are lurking in your grass. That's a gift. Because it's a lot of snakes lurking in the grass. And a lot of them snakes is your blood relatives. A lot of them snakes is your best friends. A lot of them snakes is your favorite coworkers. You know, the ones that you gossip with and tell all your motherfucking business. Those are the snakes. I'm just giving you the tools you need to see them. That's all I'm doing. Because this is what I had to do to see the snakes in my own grass. I ain't sending you down the road I ain't been down. And I ain't telling you nothing I have not done myself. I'm not making suggestions that I have not utilized. So, if you are feeling that you are at the precipice, y'all keep telling me to use that goddamn word. Am I saying it, precipice? Whatever. If you feel like you are on the brink of spiritual healing and you are thinking about buying a fucking book to help you with the healing process, before you spend your motherfucking money, let your auntie tell you something, honey. You can do that shit on your own. You don't got to pay nobody for it. Just document what you remember. And you ain't got to put it all down. Like, I get it. We don't want to write too much down because we don't want to tell on ourselves or incriminate ourselves. However, write down key points of events that took place and start where you remember. And review that shit over and over and over again. And I guarantee you, every time you reread that paper, every time you reread that information that you wrote down about what took place in your life, something new is going to come to the forefront. And that is the process of self-healing. Because you can't fix it until you acknowledge it. And unfortunately, a lot of the trauma that has happened to us, we all choose to forget. We personally make the choice to forget those things. It's just a natural defense mechanism. Damn, the last time I read something, I was in jail. Sweetie, you need to read. Reading is fundamental. Okay? Don't let jail be the reason why you develop yourself. Because if that is the case, God will keep sending you to jail. Develop yourself without having to be behind bars in order to do it. Real shit. I'm sorry that you had to do 8 years. But do you really want to go back? That's why self-correction is necessary. You have to correct self. Because they waiting to put your ass back in jail. Like, they literally love, that's what they get paid to do. I don't have a stance on the Middle East. That's not my war and I'm not in it. Real shit. It's not my war and I'm not in it. But seriously, do not allow yourself to keep becoming a prisoner just in order for you to develop yourself, sweetie. Because it's important. I don't know if you're a man or a woman, but either way, it is important to expand your horizons. Expand your thought process. You know, expand and expound upon yourself as a human being. That way you don't have to end up back behind prison bars. Because I've been to jail. I mean, I done been to jail. I done been a stripper. I lived many lives. I've lived many lives. But I had to learn not to have to go to jail in order to grow. You know what I mean? Like, you get what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm saying it right. Like, you don't want to have to get locked up in order for you to expand upon yourself. You know what I mean? You want to be able to do that on your own and not be forced into a situation that makes you have to grow up. You know? So you want to be able to develop the ability to isolate yourself when necessary and to put yourself under a microscope, so to speak, and dissect yourself to make yourself better. Because that's what it's about, growth. Becoming aware of our own error and correcting those errors. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's about. But as I was saying, part of that process is just how I titled the video. You know what I'm saying? I know it's going to be okay, sweetie, because I'm finna get your ass out of here with that bullshit ass energy trying to project fuckboy shit on me. It's going to be wonderful. Shit, what you thought? You thought I was finna sit around this bitch and be like, no, man, y'all crazy as hell. Like, literally, I do this shit every day, though. Like, I review the tape every fucking day. I run that shit back. I go right back to the part that I don't remember. I need more clarity on that. I need more clarification, spirit. I need to understand what happened behind the scenes when I wasn't looking. What they was doing behind my back. And I'm telling you what I know to be true. God will show you what you thought you ain't see. God will show you what you thought you ain't see. You thought you ain't see it, but your subconscious saw it. And as long as your subconscious was present, you can access that information. You can access those memories. You can review the tape. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people gonna probably be surprised, like, how the fuck this motherfucker figured it out? How the fuck they figured it out? Because, bitch, I got God. I got God. And I believe in God. And I believe what my spirit is telling me. I believe what God is telling me. And I will believe God before I listen or believe anybody else. Because people lie. You know what I'm saying? They lie all the time. People lie all the time. And they try to trick you. Like my own mother was bent over in front of my husband. He was standing behind her with his hands gripping her waist. And both of them motherfuckers looked me dead in my face and said, it ain't what you think. Fuck you mean? What are you talking about? It ain't what I think. Nigga, it's exactly what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? You can't make me believe anything other than what my eyes saw. My mind do not mislead me. My eyes do not deceive me, sweetie. I saw y'all and y'all did that. And I'm okay with that. I'm going to bow out gracefully. You can have her, she can have you. Y'all can have each other. But what y'all ain't going to do is put me in a situation where I put myself in the motherfucking penitentiary behind killing you two. Real shit. You not finna do it. We not doing it. We not doing that. I got too many things going for myself to allow someone to trick me out of my own fucking life. We not doing that. We're not doing that at all. Like, I can't let you pimp me out my cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not finna let you pimp me out my cool. I'm cooler than a motherfucker, nigga. And I ain't finna let you pimp me out of it. Because that's what they do. Like, you know how many so-called mentally incompetent people there are in the hood right now roaming around, ain't even got a clean pair of drawers that they own, but their families are receiving checks every month for them. I ain't finna let a bitch play me like that. You ain't finna play me like that. You ain't finna get no check for me and have me run around this bitch in some dusty crusties. No, we not doing that. We ain't doing that. And if you allow them, that's exactly where they will have your ass at. In the streets, running around with some dusty crusties all up in your ass, and they is at home in the AC with their feet kicked up collecting your check. That's what they do. And it's really kind of pathetic because they don't even have any checks and balances in place to prevent these types of things from happening. Nobody is checking on these mentally incompetent people to see whether their family members are actually doing what they are supposed to be doing for them with the money that they receive in their name. Like, ain't nobody paying attention to that shit. And these same people are raising wrong with them, so they're never held accountable for the dirt that they done did to them children, because they done tricked the kids into believing that they ain't did nothing wrong. This the way it's supposed to be. No, the fuck it's not. You getting a check for me, bitch, I better have some clean underwear and socks in this bitch. I don't give a fuck what you talking about, nigga. Like, nigga, goddamn, you getting a check. I can't at least get a clean pair of underwear? I can't at least get a clean pair of underwear and some clean socks to put on my fucking feet. You got me roaming around in the streets. I knew one girl, she said her daddy used to make her sleep with the dogs. And then they wonder how people end up on the streets and on drugs. Look at what these family members are doing to their own children. And they got them so fucked up and mentally confused that they don't even know that what these people are doing to them is wrong. It's inhumane. Little girl had fleas all over her. And she on drugs. And don't like, I mean, I can't even really get into it. Some of the things that I've really seen in them streets. And parents who are so-called upstanding citizens, government officials even, do these types of things to their own children. My auntie killed her own son. And my mama tried to kill me. And little do people really know, they've been doing this type of shit in my family. They've been doing it. And they ain't gonna stop it. That's why what I'm doing is necessary. Me doing the work is necessary, because I be damn. You ain't finna do this shit to damn other motherfucker in our family, bitch. I'm gonna be the last motherfucker you bitches fuck with. I promise you that, bitch. I'm gonna be the last motherfucker you bitches fuck with. I'm the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5, bitch. Real shit. I am the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the motherfucking 5, bitch. You should have never fucked with it. If you don't like the way I'm speaking, get off my live. Get your ass out of here. Nope, I'm not standing up. Nope. Stop begging. It's beneath you. Stop begging, because it's beneath you, sweetie. You should have more dignity than that for yourself. Like, you should have more dignity. Real shit. You on here begging me to stand up and show you my body and shit. And you convince people that I'm the slut. But you're begging and you're thirsty. It's beneath you. Have some dignity. If a woman don't want you, no means no, sweetie. It's a million other fish in the sea. No means no. What's going on, Prince Talito Solomons? How you doing? I love that name. But how you doing, sweetie? But yeah, back to what I was really getting at. The gist of it is that in order to break the cycle, you have to do the work. And part of my process is collecting the data. Once I collect that data, I review the data, and I amend the data if necessary. What I mean by saying amend is, if something that I did not put comes back to memory, I write that down. If I remember something that I wrote in a different manner, I write that down. And after I make all the amendments that my brain can process at that point in time, I repeat the process. I start all over again. And I will do this as many times as I need in order to have clarity about what the fuck it is that's going on in my life, because people are lying every day. They lied about every goddamn thing. Like, my family lied about everything. So I can't believe nothing nobody says, really. And the only voice that I can trust is the voice of God. And in order to hear the voice of God, I have to commune with God, which means I have to spend time by myself. I have to allow myself to be present enough to hear God's voice. And I have to be able to discern between my voice and God's voice. And that ain't easy. It's not light work. That shit is not light work. It takes a real strong-minded individual in order to do that type of work. And if you are indeed prepared to do that type of work, read the title, and that's the formula. So, I'm going to end it on that. Y'all be good to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Be good to others, because it is important. Be real with yourself, therefore you have the capacity to be real with others, because that is also important. Y'all know it don't take nothing to hit the thumbs up or the subscribe button. So if you was in a live and you was in a chat and you ain't did that, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? I never understand that shit. Nonetheless, if you is vibing with your girl, you digging the content, or you just feel like you know a friend that could use this message, please feel free to share the live, sweetie. And shout out to everybody. Oh, brown sugar, you don't have to run it back. She's talking, no, don't go. I got to, brown sugar. I gotta get some rest, man. It's like almost 10 o'clock and I gotta get prepared for tomorrow. But I love you too, sweetie. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope the message helps. And I'll see y'all next time, man. You know, it is what it is. You'll catch me one day on this live. You know what I mean? But y'all be good.